What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bobby Suarez Show. I'm here with a friend of mine that we met actually about a year and a half ago on a cruise ship, and a celebrity cruise ship. My buddy, Junior, he's like the landscaper to all the superstars in South Florida, from, I would imagine, from Broward all the way to like the Florida Keys. I see you doing stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice, man. Junior, I want to start off by just going into your background, man. What did you used to do when you were younger? Have you always been in the landscaping business? Or did you eventually transition from another business to this business?
Okay, so basically the way that I started was I used to play baseball at Southridge.
Okay.
And to make a little bit of extra cash, I would cut yards around my neighborhood. It all started with my mom. She used to always tell me and my dad, hey, cut the grass. And I would cut the grass. And then the neighbors will come outside and they'll be like, would you like to cut my grass too? And I say, sure, why not? And by the time you knew it, I was cutting like 5 yards next to my house, the one across the street.
This was in high school?
This was in high school when I was, yeah.
And was your family already in that business?
No, my family wasn't. My dad was a mechanic and my mom worked for an insurance company. And I just started cutting grass like that. It's crazy how it happened.
Okay. For the viewers that don't know you, you're very popular in South Florida as a landscaping company. Your name of your company is All Smooth Landscaping. For those that don't know you, he has a really big business. Can you give us a little background on what your business looks like now? How many, employees you have? How many trucks? Just to kind of look at the magnitude of what you're doing now.
Absolutely. Well, the way it started is the way I was telling you. I started cutting yards around my neighborhood, and then, friends from the people that I was cutting in the neighborhood, they referred me to their family members, to their friends. And by the time you knew it, I had 200 houses.
Wow.
And basically, I was like cutting these yards from $25 to $50. I was cutting like 10 houses a day. So I was doing the math, making $250, $500, a day, wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
So, I said, you know what, I got to get myself into the commercial world. So then I had a friend that used to manage an apartment complex, and they told me, look, I'm going to start you with one building, and we'll see how good you are from there.
Yeah.
And then we have a bunch of buildings, and that's how it started. Right now, currently, I have 120 employees.
Wow.
And I have over 50 trucks right now.
That's impressive.
Yes, sir.
Is it hard to run a business of this magnitude? Like, do you have like a leadership team, or are you acting like
I have
a CEO?
Supervisors. I have supervisors that help me out. It's very difficult. I mean, when you have so many employees, I can't be everywhere.
Yep.
So what I try to do is basically go around all the landscaping jobs, go around all the new jobs when they need estimates and stuff like that. I have other guys that go, and guys that read the plans and tell me, look, this is the number where we should be at, but you should take a look at it before we present it. And that's just where I'm at right now,
Nice. Man, that's impressive to run a company of that scale. Man, what are some cool jobs? Because obviously I follow you on Instagram. It's very entertaining.
Yes.
You have a landscaping company and you make it fun.
Yes.
Right? And I'm sure everybody that works for you loves to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You seem like a very good leader, a good father. I see you always playing baseball with your son.
Absolutely.
After work, even after waking up early. So I see you have amazing work ethic, man. So props to you on that. Can you give a little background, man? Like, what does it take to be successful? Like, you always say some can, some can't. That seems to be your slogan.
That's my slogan.
Why are people successful and why are some not?
Really, you got to work at it. Like I tell my guys and I tell the young leaders that come in, to work with me and work under me. I tell them always, wake up early, try to be out there before your meeting, make it out there before everybody, walk around yourself, see things that you want to bring up in the conversation when you're gonna address it to the guys or to the whoever we're working at, whatever property we're working at, because we still maintain some houses, but most of our work is apartment complex, hotels, resorts, and stuff like that. So basically having a good relationship when you get to the job, make sure you explain to the guys everything what you need, and that's just how it is.
So that's a great leadership skill. So get to your projects, get there early, get there before your guys.
Before the guys, absolutely.
So you're setting a good example for your team.
Yeah, I always tell supervisors, try to get out there before the guys. Don't make excuses, oh, it was a lot of traffic. Oh, I got caught up at the other job. Always be on time and always meet your deadlines. If you tell somebody that the project's gonna be done at a certain time, make sure you're done way before that.
Yeah.
You know, don't give them an excuse to, you know, to hold your pay or anything like that at the end of the job, you know. And then they're always going to recommend you to new people. You know, I don't do a lot of advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm on Instagram and all that, but, you know, other than that, it's just all word of
Mainly
mouth.
word of mouth.
Yeah,
and
word of
doing
mouth.
good work, and obviously people refer you for doing good work.
Absolutely.
What's been like a cool yard or somebody's house, like I would imagine, like maybe like a mansion or something that you've recently done that stood out that you could remember of?
One of my favorite houses to work at is Dave Grubman. Dave Grubman is the owner of Live.
Yes.
He owns Story. He owns Komodo. I did Komodo.
Root Hospitality.
Yeah, Groot Hospitality. I did Swan for him. I did his first house. And he's a very cool guy to work with.
Yeah, he seems like he's very humble, easy to talk to, easygoing.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw pictures of you with him online. As a matter of fact, I see you always with a bunch of superstars.
I played tennis with him not too long ago.
That's
That was a great opportunity.
Nice. Did you recently do one of the Trump houses in Palm Beach?
Yes, I did one of the Trump houses, but I'm really not allowed to say which house or where it's at.
So-
It was funny that I was out there working because they never told me that it was one of his houses.
Gotcha.
The funniest thing was I took a picture of something, and like a few minutes later, I had security come up to me.
Wow.
And they were like, "What are you taking pictures of, sir? Can I see the picture you took?" So I had to show them my phone, and I deleted the picture. And it was actually of artwork. It was a blue alligator, and I liked it because blue's my favorite color,
Yeah.
if you know, and all my trucks are blue.
Yep.
And I like blue. So I just took a picture of that, but I never took a picture of anything else. But, you know, it was great. We put in all the new flowers at his house before his family came there for Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays. And I'm actually going back out there next week to install some palm trees that died.
Wow. That's awesome, man. For the people that are following us, this is like the magnitude of his business. He gets called out to do previous presidents and maybe even future presidents' homes. And Dave Grutman, and the other day I saw you with David Nyoku, the football player.
I'm doing his house now. My guys are finishing up. We're doing the turf there. We're doing the landscape lighting. We're doing the irrigation, and we're finalizing everything there. It's turning out to be a beautiful project.
Nice, man. Love that.
So we do football players' houses. I've done a couple football players. I do rappers. I've done a couple of Love and Hip Hop, people from Love and Hip Hop. I did the producer's house. I did Steph Couture's house. I did Amara Laneda's house. I did Trick Daddy's house. So those are a lot of my customers that, you know, and that's all by word of mouth. You know, I didn't really know them. I got one of them. Then one of them told the other one. And you know, when
That's
they
what I was about to ask you. How are you well known in that community? So they've been referring you out just like any other.
Yeah, they refer me to the other ones. The thing is, you know, when they go to their house and they say, "Wow, who did this amazing landscaping work for you?" Oh, I got the guy. So that's how they recommended me, you know. One of my favorite houses was the producer from Love and Hip Hop. His house came out beautiful.
Really?
One of the most beautiful jobs I've done. And
Where was that, in Miami Beach?
that was actually off of 27th and like Coral Way.
Okay, that's like the roads more.
The
or less.
roads,
Yeah.
actually, the roads, right there in the roads. Beautiful job. And it turned out beautiful.
Awesome, man. And Junior, man, I know I wanted to get into like kind of like your hobbies. What do you like doing when you're not working? I know you're always working. You know?
Yeah.
But when you're not working, what do you like doing? Travel. I know I met you at a cruise ship, so I know you like traveling.
Yes, sir.
What else do you do for fun?
What I like to do for fun, I like to go fishing with my son. Just bought my son a little flats boat for Christmas, getting it at the end of January. And basically, I take my son to practice baseball every day. I used to play baseball myself, so I'm really into baseball with my son. My son's 13 years old, and I just recently built a batting cage on the side of the house for him.
All that.
We did the turf, we did everything, and it's funny, just because I posted that batting cage, I already got 2 customers that want me to do the batting cages at their house.
Wow.
So now we're going to bring that also into our business. Since we do turf, we're going to offer batting cages. So just so you can see, just from one thing, you know, and I posted it, somebody saw it on Instagram, and now they want me to do them a batting cage at their house.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And just for the people that don't know, you're doing landscaping, you're doing turf, lighting. What else are you doing?
Turf, lighting, irrigation, tree trimming. We do maintenance for commercial properties, hotels, condos, resorts. We got a couple resorts in the Keys that we maintain.
Okay.
Recently, we just took over Chica Lodge.
I love Chica Lodge.
It's a beautiful property.
Yeah.
It's 40 acres. It has a 9-hole golf course. We've never maintained golf courses, but we're on it now. We took a couple classes on how to maintain golf courses, and it's turning out to be beautiful from how it was before.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite properties down in the Keys. I love it down there.
Yeah, I love Chica Lodge. I've stayed there a couple times. Great hotel, man.
Yeah.
Great resort.
Very tropical. Plants are very beautiful there. It's what I like, to represent. I mean, we live in Florida, A lot of these other landscapers like to use a lot of native plants and stuff like that. I like colorful,
Yeah.
I like to keep it colorful. I like to use the reds, the oranges.
Yeah.
That brings out, the property, the look. You know what I'm saying?
For a lot of the business people that follow us, we have also a lot of young guys that want to get into entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
What would you recommend for them to do if they want to get into business, or even, let's say, even the landscaping business?
Yeah.
People don't see it as maybe as a sexy business. You made it, a very lucrative business.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to get to like a big business like yours. What does it take? What do they need to do?
Takes a lot of hard work and dedication. I have a lot of followers on my Instagram, a lot of young kids, and every day, when I post stuff, they're like, whoa, that's a big motivation. That's something I learned from you. Keep it going. I look up to you. That, it means a lot to me,
Okay.
Most of all the people who hit me up on Instagram, even if I don't know them, I always respond to them, because when I used to hit up people, to see and they wouldn't get back with me, I'll be like, whoa, this guy, it doesn't matter who it is. I always try to get back to everybody, and I always try to give them a little bit of advice about work, which I do to a lot of the young kids out there, that, ask me for any type of advice.
That's amazing, man. We got to be good role models for the young generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome, man. How much does it cost to start up an operation? Let's say you wanted to build up a big landscaping business like how you have it right now.
Where I'm at right now, a lot of people always ask me that question too. I don't mind sharing it with people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're building over $1 million a month
In revenue. Wow.
in revenue, in lawn maintenance, in landscaping, turf, irrigation, and stuff like that. It's very difficult, but you got to make sure you build the people out on time so you could get that cash flow back in. I have 120 employees. Like I told you, my payroll is about $400,000
Every month. Wow.
every month. So it's about $100,000 a week just to run that. And then you got your truck payments. Then you got your insurance. I'm at about $50,000 to $60,000 a month just in fuel.
Wow.
Just to run the operation. And I have 4 mechanics.
And these are on staff.
These are on staff full time. If something breaks out of property, they go there and they fix it. If not, we bring it in. Everybody, all the mechanics have their different titles of what they work on, because we have so much equipment. We have bobcats, we have excavators, we have polecats, we have lifts, we have a bunch of equipment. It's crazy because the way that I started this business was with a push mower.
Wow.
In the back of my pickup truck. It's funny because to this day, I still think about how I started the business. One day, I was passing by a yard sale. I'm going to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
I was passing by a yard sale, and there was a guy selling a Sears Craftsman tractor, right?
Okay.
And I stopped there, and I asked the gentleman, how much are you selling this tractor for? He goes, I want $1,000 for it. And I told the guy, well, I don't think I have $100, but I can give you $500. And what I'll do is, for the other $500, I'll give you $750 if you let me cut your grass for those other $750. And the guy was like, son, how do I know you're not going to take this tractor and use it 2 or 3 times and you're not going to want to cut grass anymore? What can you prove to me, or how would I know that you're going to pay me?
Yeah.
I told him, you can follow me to my house and you can meet my mom and you can meet my grandfather, and they'll back me up, So the guy went to my house. It's funny. He met my mom. He met my grandfather. And right after that, I had to cut his grass, for $750 to get, my, for the tractor could be mine. It's crazy because the tractor, and it was funny because I remember the tractor only cut one height, right? So when I went to my first yard and I started mowing the grass, it was scalping everything. So I was like, wow, what am I going to tell my customer,
Yeah.
So I told the customer, no, the grass just needs to get used to my new tractor. And it was crazy. But then my father helped me lift the deck. And that was my first tractor, actually.
Let me ask you a question. Obviously, you scaled it from when you started to where you're at now. What would you tell would be like to somebody listening, what would be a good amount of percentage to scale every year to grow your business yearly? Would you think don't try to scale more than 20%? Because that's what I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say.
Yeah.
Like if you're making 5 million, don't try to scale, more than 20% of your revenue because you'll be growing too fast. You could make mistakes along the way. Do you think 20% would be a healthy amount to scale yearly?
Yeah, I think 20% is good.
Okay.
20%. If you want to go a little bit higher, it can be about 30%.
Yeah. I would imagine you would need a lot of cash flow. Especially
need a lot
in your
of cash
industry, you have a lot of expenses out, then you need also the revenue to come in. So there's a lot of time.
The best thing is, like I tell everybody, don't get yourself into debt. You see?
Love that.
Don't grow with what you have. Mm-hmm. You see, I never went out and got a business loan.
Okay.
I've never gone out and got a loan for anything. Yes, you get a loan for purchasing a vehicle, but don't go ahead and grab a lump sum amount of money that, you got to be worried about paying back. Try to work with your own money is the way I did my business.
Try to reinvest back.
Try to reinvest back. Always reinvest back. See, I'm on a different level now because when I first started, I used to have to buy plants. But now I have my own nursery. So I have 15 acres in the Redlands.
Wow.
I have 3 different 5-acre parcels. And I grow my own plants. So I went from a 50-cent plant to growing it, to selling it for $30, to having to buy the plant for $30. And then I got to mark it up.
Wow. So now you're also making money off your own plants.
And now I'm making money off my own plants too.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What are your plants that you grow? Do you grow all types of plants? Do you also have palm trees?
Yeah. Basically, I grow all the tropical palm trees, a couple of native palm trees, a bunch of the shrubs that we use, the portocarpus, the clusia, the green island ficus, the sarissa. I try to have anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 of each one of those plants in every size of container that we use it in. Because we use a 3-gallon, a 7-gallon, a 15-gallon, and a 25-gallon. And then also, when I give these estimates for these properties, I can give a little bit better price than the other landscaper that has to go and buy the material.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine that's why it also helps you out with your commercial projects.
Absolutely.
Right
now, commercial, my biggest vendor is Related Group, George Perez.
Yeah.
I maintain, I would say, over 50 commercial properties for him. I landscape them and then I maintain them.
Wow.
And then I do a lot of work for CFH Group, for Tom Caparizio. Mm-hmm. I do all his properties, which is about 50 properties too. Those are my 2 biggest commercial vendors.
And I know obviously you get a lot of your business from referrals, but man, how did you land the Related Group? How did you land Tom Gabarizo?
The Related Group, it all started like that with one property. They put me.
So they called you up.
They called me up. They called me up. They told me, can you do one property? I did one property. And then from there, I started doing all their properties. The same thing with Tom Cavarizio. I started one property in Kendall, which is called Knob Hill.
Yeah.
He told me, I'm going to give you this property. It's going to be your first property, and I want to see what you do and how you work. And now I do all his properties. They're called Legacy now.
Yeah.
So I do over 50 properties for him.
Wow, man. That's impressive. I would imagine, man, that you're a landscaper, but you're a business person that you know how to talk to a lot of these big heavy hitter business people. Like for example, I would imagine it's not easy to land the Chica Lodge account or all these other big accounts that you have in the Keys that you're always doing.
You see, the Chica Lodge landed on my lap because they were buying plants at one of my friend's nurseries and they was looking for somebody to install it. Mm-hmm. And they weren't happy at the time with the contractor that they had doing the property.
Yeah.
So my friend said, listen, I got a guy who will install the plants for you and then he will maintain the plants for you.
Which is very important.
Very important. So my friend sold them the plants and I went over there and I installed them. And I did such a good job that they were like, look, we're interested in you maintaining the property. Can you maintain this property for us? And it's a very big property. Like we said earlier, it's 40 acres. I have 8 guys there. Something people don't know. I have 8 guys there.
All the time.
365 days a year.
Wow.
Meaning on Christmas, meaning on Thanksgiving, somebody has to be there. Because if they have like 3 beaches.
Yeah.
And they want us to be out there and rake the beaches before, the guests come out to the beach early in the morning.
Yes.
So we're out there at 6 a.m. every day, 7 days a week, raking the beach area.
Early in the morning?
Early in the morning, before all the guests. From 6 to like about 8, we're always raking the beaches. And then we have to go across the street and go to Perry's because they own that too, the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that falls under us too.
Yeah.
That's something that we also maintain for them.
Let me ask you a marketing question, and I know indirectly you probably get a lot of business from it. So I would imagine, let's say you're at Chica Lodge.
Yes.
And you have all your trucks and your golf carts and all that parked outside.
Yes.
Do you think that helps you get more business from other surrounding properties? Gotten calls in saying, hey, man, I see all your trucks outside. I love the way it looks.
Yes.
Do you think that's you get business through that way?
That's a way to do it too. But normally our trucks there are inside.
Got it.
You know, but I actually did get from Chica Lodge, I got Playa Largo. You know, because one of the managers passed by there, saw the trucks there, and then they reached out to me for me to do their property. So we also do Playa Largo residents, and we do Playa Largo where they have their housing for their employees that work at the hotel across the street.
Really? So they
Yes.
have their own workforce housing for their employees there. That's
Yes.
interesting. And I got to get you in the community I live in. Well, I have a second home in the Keys at Largo Landings. Not sure if
Okay.
you're familiar with that community. But man, maybe I'll get you in with them there.
Yeah.
And maybe you could help us with the cost there and stuff. So
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I'll put you down with the HOA people.
I love to get more work in the Keys. Right now in the Keys, we're maintaining Calusa, Playa Largo, like I told you. We maintain Key Largo Resort.
Yeah.
We maintain Fiesta Key, Sunshine Key. And then, like you said, I have a couple homes that some of the people that I work for and I do their properties and stuff like that they own properties in the Keys. I got about 20 houses in the Keys that we maintain.
Love it.
You know?
Got it.
And we do a lot of landscaping. We landscape a lot of houses in the Keys as well.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that you're always putting the turf on all the waterfront houses down there.
Yes.
So definitely the Keys is a lot of fun to go to.
Definitely.
You know?
It's like working in paradise.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like working in Miami Beach, you know?
Yeah. I remember I posted something in the Keys and you're like, no, you got to go to the fish house for food.
Yes.
And
That's
now
the
I
spot.
love, that's one of my favorite spots.
Yes. You got to try the Hogfish Hemingway.
Oh, yeah.
I was just there on Saturday night.
Nice.
I had dinner there with the family.
Love
Great spot down there. One of my favorite.
Junior, man, where do you see yourself in the future, man? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Are you looking to still continue growing your business?
Absolutely. About 5 years from now, I see myself even bigger than I am. You know, it's funny because I've had a couple people offer me money before to sell the business, but I'm still young. You know, I don't want to sell it, but, 5 years from now, if they offer me enough money, maybe I'll sell it, maybe I won't, maybe I'll leave it for my kids, but if the number is good, I'll sell, and then I'll invest my money in something else. I'll be investing my money with you.
Yeah, that would be something really good to do.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I always tell people, man, always be growing. In the past, I've told myself, man, you know what? I'm going to chill here. My business is in a good spot. I don't care to grow anymore. But I feel like that's a lie people tell themselves to, man, at the end of the day, if you're not growing, you're not living.
Yeah.
So even if it's a little bit, man, always be growing every year in your business, in your personal life.
Yeah.
Read some books, man. Always learn. You know what I mean? How are you staying like learning or up to date? Do you hear podcasts like this? Do you read books?
I do.
Yeah.
I read books. They send me the magazine. I always wonder, damn, they haven't put me on the cover on this magazine yet. It's crazy because I see people there with like 50 employees and I got 120, but that's not what I do it for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
My goal is, to do a good job and for people to pass me on to their family members, to other relatives.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure when I finish the football player's house, David, he told me he's going to have a Super Bowl party at his house, because the Browns are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So as soon as one of his friends goes over there from his team or something like that, that's going to land me another job.
100%.
So
Even at my house, man, who did your landscaping?
yeah,
Carl Jr.
that's how it works, man.
Yeah, I love that. Junior, what's been like an interesting story that comes to mind, like maybe in one of your properties or something that's like absolutely like crazy that's happened that you're like, man, this is unbelievable.
Like one of the craziest things that happened was I was doing landscaping at the Doral golf course over here in Doral. And when we first started doing the landscaping there, Trump was like, listen, I want to block all the houses around from looking into the golf course. I want to put some big palm trees there.
He didn't want them to have a view.
He didn't want them to have a view to the golf course. It was crazy. But when they bought the houses, I think the developer had sold them the houses with the view to the golf course. So, I mean, everybody had a view to the golf course.
Yeah.
But since, they were going to remodel the golf course, put new grass, we removed a lot of trees there.
Okay.
And we installed a bunch of aregas. So we started installing arenas around the property. And the next day when I would come to the job site, somebody was cutting down all the areca palms in certain of the backyards. And, you know, I mentioned it to people there. I'm like, look, I just installed these palm trees and they're already cut. So they were like, you know, let's install them again, you know? So we would have to take those out and install them again.
No.
And then I would come back again a week later and they were cut again. We did that probably, I'm going to say about 10 times. We had to replace certain arenas in different backyards just to get them to stop doing it, you know? At the end, you know, they stopped doing it. You know, I guess they got the point.
Yeah.
And the project turned out really beautiful. I don't know if you ever been out there to play golf at the Doral Golf Course.
I haven't played golf there in a while, but it's probably been like a year.
Yeah.
Actually, I went for my good friend Marco's, his daughter's 15s was there.
Nice.
It was a big bash, and it's an amazing, beautiful property.
It's a beautiful.
We stayed there for the weekend.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, Junior, man, if somebody wants to reach out to you for business,
Yes.
what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Best way to get in touch with me, they could call me on my cell phone or they could call the office. My cell phone number is 305-345-0115. Office number is 305-238-8694. And some people hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is allsmooth08.
Okay.
And they can hit me through there.
Love it.
And, you know, I'll be more than glad to give anybody an estimate. I don't charge for estimates,
So, like I said, man, Junior's a great guy. I met him a year and a half ago. Definitely a legit business person, does everything by the book. And, you know, you won't fail people. So, definitely vouch for him. So, Junior, thank you again for coming out here, man. Appreciate it.
Brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.